Welcome to The Daily Decant, your 5-minute briefing on the world of wine. Each episode delivers practical insights to help you choose, order, and talk about wine with more confidence in everyday social settings. Let's get into today's decant. We spent yesterday on the famous names, the steep hill of Hermitage, the roasted slopes of Côte-Rôtie. Today, we talk about where to actually shop. There's a pattern in wine that repeats itself across almost every great region in the world. The most famous appellation sits at the center. Around it, close enough in geography and often in quality, but without the famous name, sit the appellations that offer the real value. In Burgundy, it's the village appellations surrounding the Grand Cru. In Bordeaux, it's the Médoc satellite regions. In the Northern Rhône, it's the Crozes-Hermitage and Saint-Joseph. Let's start with the Crozes-Hermitage, because the name itself is your first clue. Crozes surrounds the famous Hermitage Hill on nearly all sides. The vineyards are on flatter terrain than the hill itself, which is part of why the wines are less concentrated and less expensive. But flat does not mean inferior. The best Crozes-Hermitage producers are working with the same granite soils, the name Syrah grape, and the same Northern Rhône tradition as their neighbors on the hill. What they lack in the extreme specificity of Hermitage itself, they make up for in freshness, earlier approachability, and price. Crozes-Hermitage is the largest appellation in the Northern Rhône by volume, which means quality varies. You want to shop by producer, not just by appellation. The name to know here above all others is Paul Jaboulet-Anet in their Crozes-Hermitage Domaine des Talibert. This wine has been a benchmark for the appellation for decades. It drinks beautifully at 5 to 8 years of age, costs a fraction of the Hermitage La Chapelle, and gives you a genuine window into what Northern Rhône Syrah tastes like. Other excellent producers in Crozes include Alain Graillot and Daré Ribot. Both make honest, terrier-driven wines at fair prices. Now, Saint-Joseph. This is a long appellation. It stretches around 60 kilometers along the west bank of the Rhône, north to south, encompassing an enormous range of soils, exposures, and elevations. Because of that breadth, Saint-Joseph is even more producer-dependent than Crozes-Hermitage. In the right hands, on the right granite slopes in the northern part of the appellation, Saint-Joseph Syrah can rival appellations costing 3 times as much. In lesser hands, on flat, alluvial soils in the south, it can be ordinary. The key with Saint-Joseph is to look for producers in the northern part of the appellation, near the villages of Tournon and Mauves. This is where the original Saint-Joseph vineyards were planted on granite terraces above the river, and where the wines have the most character. Jean-Louis of the same family behind the legendary Hermitage makes a Saint-Joseph that is considered one of the finest expressions of the appellation, and is still relatively affordable. Pierre-Jean Villard is another excellent producer worth seeking out. Here's the practical framework for using these two appellations. If you want to explore Northern Rhône Syrah for the first time, start with a Crozes-Hermitage from Jaboulet or Graillot in the $25 to $40 range. It will show you the savory, peppery, iron-edged character of Northern Rhône Syrah without asking you to spend $100 or more on a bottle you're unfamiliar with. Once you understand what that style tastes like, step up to a Saint-Joseph or Chave or Villa in the $40 to $60 range. And then, when you're ready to understand what all the fuss is about, invest in a bottle of Hermitage or Côte-Rôtie from a serious producer and taste the difference that a legendary site makes. This is how you learn a region. You start at the edge and work your way to the center. Tomorrow we'll head south, and we head to the appellation whose name you already know, Châteauneuf-du-Pape. That's today's Daily Decant. If you found this helpful, be sure to subscribe and share with your friends so you can continue building your wine knowledge in just a few minutes a day. See you tomorrow for your next decant.